This conference will now be recorded.
right? Because configurations are very important. So if you can capture few details on like whatever it is, whatever you're talking about, so that will be very easy reference for you while talking about that particular topic or the particular area. Okay. So yesterday we have seen about how to create an user, how to assign roles to the user, and then how to assign data access set to that particular roles which are assigned to the user. So do you have any doubts in these three areas?
No, no.
No, right? Okay. Can I ask a few questions on Fusion?
Sridhar here. I have one question
Okay.
regarding while
Mm-hmm.
we are assigning the data set. So initially we'll selecting ledger and the business units, right? So where we can define who will define this initially in Fusion real time?
Which one?
That business unit and ledger. So while we are assigning the data sets, so in
Mm-hmm.
drop down list it's showing that business units and ledger names
Yeah, I'll
like
show
that,
it. Like,
that bank basis and bank view those things.
yes. So all the business units and the ledgers are created by the finance team. Okay. We don't
Okay.
create business units. We don't create ledgers. We don't create legal entities. All this will be taken care by the finance consultant. Okay, and we'll see in detail here what are the things we have to create and what are the things we can share from others, right? So currently I'm in setup and maintenance, and at that I have selected project financial management as my offering. Under this we are having different functional areas. So let's start from the first functional area, which is initial users. So let's go with all tasks. So again, you can see here like create implementation user, right? Again, if you click here, if we can redirect it to the same uh, page where we have created users yesterday, like tools, security console, users, right? So as I said, the same thing can be achieved from different places in Fusion. So don't get confused. Even this option is also will take you to the same user creation page. Okay, and then we have one more important thing is here, run user and role synchronization process. This is very important. So whenever you run, like you create any user and assign roles, and again in future if you are trying to add any new roles or you are trying to take out any new role, I mean any existing roles from the user, then we have to run user and role synchronization process. This is a job. Okay, so which synchronizes the roles of the, I mean the roles and the users. So once you
The
submit it,
mandatory job, na?
sorry,
This is the mandatory job for role synchronization.
no, we cannot say mandatory, but this is the suggestible job that we have to run once you add any roles or once you take out any roles, because if you don't run this, sometimes it will take some time to reflect the changes within the application. And
Okay.
also it is advisable to run this in order to synchronize both the roles and user information in the backend.
Okay. Not required. Mandatory, it is not required. Yeah.
Correct. I mean, it's not mandatory. See,
Okay.
even if you go to the uh, like, but most of the time we should run this whenever we say like we add any new roles or we delete any new roles. But even sometimes if without running this job also, if we log out and log in again, we can see the changes. But it is advisable to run this in order to keep the synchronization in the backend side between the roles and users. So remember this job, because when you enter into real time, they will ask you, did you run LDAP job or synchronization job, right? Then you should not. show a surprising face there. So this is the job, user and role synchronization process whenever you add any new roles or whenever you take out any existing roles. Okay, guys. So this is the important task in this initial users functional area, and then we'll move to the next one, which is enterprise profile. Here also, like yeah, before discussing about all these, if you see here, we have shared option for some function areas, but for some function areas we don't have shared option. Did you see this,
Yes,
guys?
Anna.
Yeah, no.
Right, that means this is going to be shared by the other offerings as well. So if you want to see that, you can click on the shade and you can see what are the other offerings that are sharing the same functional area. So if you see here, these are all the offerings that are sharing the same functional area. That means this is not particular to the project financial management. You can also find the same function area even if you go to any other thing like order management, enterprise contracts. So let's go to any other thing, enterprise contracts. So can you see this? So we can also see this function area even in the enterprise contracts. So whenever you see shared, that means this is common to two or more offerings. Right, guys? When you don't find any shared option here, that means that is particular functional area to that offering. I mean, that is the this is not, that particular function area is not shared by any other offerings. That purely belongs to the offering whatever you are in. So currently we are in project financial management. So project organizations belongs to only PFM offering, but it doesn't belongs to any other like enterprise contracts or financials or workforce management, whatever it is, right? That is one thing you have to remember. Okay, guys, am I audible?
Okay, Anna.
Yes, Anna.
Okay,
Okay.
Anna. Okay, Anna.
So within the enterprise profile, I think we don't have much thing to discuss that belongs to projects, but we are having managed file import mappings, file import activities. Earlier, before 21C, we used to have these tasks for creating or importing enterprise contracts. Like just like, I mean, in e-business you are having agreements, right? But in Fusion we don't have any agreements here. We are having contracts, right? That is a exact term what we refer even in real time, right? Did you get any contract or not, right? If you talk to any vendor, uh, they like generally they used to have this word. So did you get a contract from the government, or did you get contract from that particular person, right? But do we talk about, did we do you have an agreement with that contract, sorry, person, or do you have an agreement with that government? No, right? So the generic term what we refer in real time or in like in day-to-day life is contract, right? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, Anna.
So in Fusion, we have contracts instead of agreements. And in order to create contracts, we were using these tasks. But remember, now they are completely obsolete. Even if you see here, these are all obsolete. We are not going to use them for creating or importing contracts. This is also very, very, very important for your interview, because they will ask you, if you're talking about contracts, they will ask you how did you import contracts. Maybe I'm having 200 contracts or 300 contracts. Then how did you import contracts? So in that case we can say that earlier to 21C we were using manage file import objects, where we can able to create or import enterprise contracts. But from 21C onwards, that particular task got obsolete and we are using import and export management, like import management, and we will see how we can import contracts using that import management, which is available under navigator tools. Okay, but this is just for your information as of now. And then coming to the financial reporting structure, this is again purely related to the financials. So if you see here, we are having currencies, daily rates, chart of account, value sets, structure, right? Ledgers, legal entities. So who is going to take care of all these? Finance consultant is going to take care of all these things. We don't work on this. But if you want to refer any segment values particular to the either company or account, something like that, then you can come here, you can go to the chart of account value sets, right? Then you can easily get that value. And again, if you want to see the ledger options, right? Because this is again related to our accounting options, or in e-business suite we call that as auto accounting, right? But in Fusion, we don't call that as an auto accounting anymore. We call that as, I mean, we implement accounting using SLA, right? So while defining SLA, we should know what is the accounting method that is associated to the ledger. Even the same, we can see the same thing even in e-business suite as well, right? Accounting methods will be tied up at the ledger level. So while defining SLA, we should know what exact accounting method attached to that particular ledger. So in that case, you have to go to the ledger, right, and see the ledger options. So I'm just giving examples why and when we come into this financial reporting structure function area. This is for our reference purpose. Okay, guys. And again, when you are doing some kind of multi-currency transactions, so in that case, before having the transaction, you should first check, right, whether you are having the conversion rates between the respective currencies, maybe USD and INR, or USD and Canadian dollars, right? So in that case, again, you have to come here and you have to check whether the rates are defined for the particular date and those from and to currency combinations, right? So this is for our reference purpose, and we are not going to define anything here. Got it, guys?
Yeah, Anna.
Perfect. Next, we'll move to the organization structures.
If you want to change anything in financial reporting sector means we have to request the finance team. No?
Sorry, Ablash.
If you want to give any value related to the chart of accounts or else,
Mm-hmm.
uh, we want to request to the finance team or else we can also create the value in the values.
You can do that, but it is always, better to inform finance consultant, because he is the owner to that particular area, right? So even without his concern, if you add it, maybe to the guys, give me 1 second.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, guys. So you can do changes, like you can add any chart of account value set values, right? And again, you can add any daily rates in lower environments, like in test environment or dev environment. But it is always suggestible to inform like finance team so that they can make a note of your requirement. Otherwise, that will be missed in the future conversions or configurations. Right, Abhilash? Because finance team is going to do those kind, I mean, all those configurations. So if you don't inform them, that cannot be carried forward actually.
Yeah, okay, Anna.
Okay, fine. Next, we'll come to the organization structures. Okay, so within this, let's go to the all tasks. So again here, what is a business unit, guys? Anybody? What exactly we refer in e-business suite?
Operating unit.
Good. So in Fusion, we refer the operating unit as business unit. Okay. And if you see the definition of the business, because this is our area, right? We should know what the business unit contains, because even we will also deal with the business unit. So it is advisable to have a look on business units. What are the options we have in that, right? So within this managed business units, we just having a name, and manage is not it's mandatory, it's optional, the location of the business unit and the default set. Forget about this set concept as of now. We will take one entire separate session to talk about this set because this is very important. Where like wherever you go, you usually you see the set concept, right? So we'll deal with that separately, which is very important. So moreover, here we're just having the name and location, that's it, along with the default set. Next, the other important task here is like assign business unit business functions. This is important. So let's go and see what are the options we are having within this task. So under this, we are having business unit functions. So what do you mean by business unit functions? Anybody?
For the assigning roles, I think so.
My voice is not clear. So if okay, if you see here, select all business functions that this business, guys, go on mute. Okay. So select all business functions that this business unit will perform. So what are the activities that are going to be taken care under that particular business unit? Whether we are having projects or whether we are going to generate invoices or whether we are going to capture the cost or whether we are going to have contracts, right? Or whether we are going to receive payments from the customer. So what these are all different activities or the functions that a business unit may carry out, right? So in that case, we have to specifically uh, tell the application that what exactly the business unit is going to perform. So in that case, if we are going to generate supplier invoices, we have to enable this. Otherwise, we have to disable this. In that case, you cannot create any supplier invoices. Got it, guys? And again, payments against that supplier invoice. If you want to make a payment, then this checkbox should be enabled. And if you want to have billing and revenue, then you should have this checkbox. Again, if you want to capture cost against the business unit, then you should have project accounting checkbox. If you don't enable this, then you cannot implement project costing to the business unit. Remember, because there are some let's take four business units. Among four business units, only one business unit is interested to have project costing. So in that case, we will enable the project accounting option to only one business unit, and for the other three business units we will disable this option so that no one will no one can use that business unit for project accounting purpose. Again, if you want to have procurement, and again requisitions, receiving options against POs, expense management like high expenses, right? So it totally depends upon what the business unit is going to perform. So depending upon that, again, this is going to be configured or set up by the finance team or the finance consultant, right? But we have to cross verify that whether he has enabled project accounting or not for our business unit, because that is very important for us, right? And again, if it when it comes to billing part, again, whether he has enabled billing and revenue management or not, we have to cross verify, right? And apart from this information, if you see here, we are having primary ledger, legal entity, right? So at business unit level, we are going to assign the ledger. What is the ledger associated by this business unit? And again, if you see here, we are having legal entity below, this is default legal entity. I don't know why he gave. Okay, so updating below legal entity may impact. Okay, indicates that the business unit is a profit center and it operates under one legal entity. Okay. So if you don't enable this below legal entity checkbox, then whatever the legal entity you specified here, that belongs to the particular business unit. That means only one to one legal entity to that particular business unit. If you enable this option, that means, oh, sorry, if you don't enable this option, that means you can have multiple legal entity association with the particular business unit. One business unit, multiple legal entities. That means this particular business unit is going to perform under multiple legal entities. But if you enable this option, that means whatever the legal entity you specify here, that is the legal entity which is only one associated to that particular business unit. Do you understand this one, guys, about this checkbox? What will happen if we enable? What will happen if we disable it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so if you disable it, this is just a default legal entity, but still the business unit can be, can be associated with other legal entities as well. That means one business unit, multiple legal entity concept. But if you enable this, one business unit, one legal entity. Okay, so that is about Assign business unit. I mean, Assign business functions, business unit, business functions task. Okay, which is very important for us. And before going to the next one, I want to talk about the scope. What is the scope here? So, if you see here, we have one task.
Sir,
Okay,
sir, on that, can you please explain about that below legal entity checkbox again?
so if you enable this, then what is the legal entity? Whatever the legal entity you specify here, that is the only legal entity associated with that business unit.
Okay, sir. In one legal entity can contain multiple business units, right, sir?
Yes. In that case, when you're defining for, when you're defining other business unit, in that case, you can also select the same legal entity.
So for
We are
that,
talking specifically to this business unit. Currently, we are talking about only one particular business unit.
okay, sir.
Okay.
So what my question is, business business unit, units are multiple under legal entity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that right only, sir?
Yes, we can. I mean, the single business unit can be, a part of multiple legal entities.
No, sir. No, the structure is legal entity. ఒక లీగల్ ఎంటిటీ కింద మల్టిపుల్
Mm-hmm.
యూనిట్స్ ఉంటాయి కదా.
వాటన్నిటిని
Okay.
వర్క్ అవుతాయి సార్.
ఈ అంటే మీ మీరు ఇప్పుడు మీరు చెప్పింది ఒక యూనిట్ కి మల్టిపుల్ లీగల్ ఎంటిటీలు అసైన్ చేయొచ్చు అని అంటున్నారు.
Assign చేయం, but it can able to perform under multiple legal entities as well.
అంటే ఒక బిజినెస్ యూనిట్ కెన్ బి షేర్డ్ బై మల్టిపుల్ లీగల్ ఎంటిటీస్ అంటారా?
Exactly. If you see here, the tip
యా.
indicates that the business unit is a profit center and it operates under one legal entity. But if I enable this, okay, it is giving the same. But if you enable this, one second, guys. Okay, if you disable this, then this is just a default legal entity, but still this particular business unit can also perform or have activities even in other legal entities as well.
Okay, sir. What in EBS under that legal entity only we are going to assign the OUs. There is
Correct.
no matter of multiple legal entities. That's why only I'm asking.
Okay. So here we can have, I mean, a business unit can perform in multiple legal entities as well. So even the structure is also same, right? Under legal entity, we are, business unit will come.
Yeah,
Whatever the
sir.
legal entity it is, under that legal entity, we have business unit only. Whether the business unit is same or different, it depends,
Okay.
right? Okay. Now let's. So who is it? This is Rakesh or Manohar. Who is this?
Manohar Anna.
Okay. Let's come to the scope. So till now, like we are doing all the activities to the single business unit. What happen if I have multiple business units and I want to configure or I want to assign business functions to the other business units as well? So how can I handle that situation? Did you get that doubt? Because we are having only one task here, but I'm having multiple business units. So how can I set options for the other different business units, right? So in that case, we can use scope functionality. So currently my business unit is Bank BU. So if you want to assign business functions to the other business units, then you can click on the scope and you can change the other business unit. Maybe I can go to the Tata business unit, apply and go. And now the business unit has changed here, right? Now what are the options is enable or disable that belongs to this business unit. Are you clear, guys?
Within that business unit, we are changing the scope, Anna.
Within the non-business unit, within the task, against the task, if you want to change or if you like if you want to change the business unit currently you are in, then you can use the scope. The scope is at business unit level. That means you can use the same task for different business units.
It means in EBS, it is MO security profile. By
Hmm.
using that, we can use the multiple business units.
Yeah, but here you have to select the business unit
Scope.
from the scope.
Okay, Anna. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
And the other important thing here is nothing. Guys, I have to jump to another call. We'll meet tomorrow, guys. Okay. I missed my meeting.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Bye. Yeah.
Bye, Anna.